Welcome to my unboxing of the Mediasonic Probox H82-SU3S2. I think what they mean to say is it's an 8-bay USB 3 external hard drive enclosure, and there's a couple things that are pretty cool about it. So I'm going to run through everything Mediasonic has to say about it, and then I'm going to tell you what I think is interesting. So first of all, it supports 8 hard drives of different brand and capacity. You can throw whatever you want in there, although with an enclosure like this, I don't think I'd really recommend it. Okay, it supports up to 24 terabytes. Yes, that's 3 terabytes times 8 bays. It has one button interface selection, so you can flexible alternative interface selection by simply pressing the button. Ah yes, so the interface, meaning either eSATA or USB 3, because it does support both of those transfer methods. It's got a security lock because you don't want people running along and stealing your hard drives. Forced convection process for cooling. Power sync. Powers off and on, synchronized with the PC. That's very handy because you don't need to access data that's plugged in by eSATA unless the system is powered on. Very nice. Supports hard drive hot swap. 8 hard drives supported. And Smart Fan. Comes with auto/manual modes, 3 levels of speed for best convention. Supports Windows 7, eSATA USB 3, we've mentioned that before. Alright, moving along to the side, we see what it looks like from the back. Moving along to the back, we see what it looks like from the front and the side. So far, this is all stuff that's been covered. Forced convection process, power sync, one button. Okay, moving back along to the other side. Okay, hold on a minute. Ah, here we go. This is interesting. Here is a comparison chart. So we're showing USB 3 versus eSATA versus USB 2. USB 2 is slow, eSATA is fast, and USB 3 is super speed. So in practical terms, USB 3 and eSATA probably aren't going to give you much of a difference in terms of performance, because the way I would install drives in an enclosure like this is going to be, well, not able to saturate an eSATA connection. So these are all theoretical maximums that you see in that graph on the back. So let's go ahead and open it up. And don't worry, I will tell you the part about what I think is interesting about it. Coming soon. First, the accessories. So the first accessory is an eSATA cable. Very nice. Next accessory is a USB 3 cable. That's A to B. Oh, cameraman says it is Mac compatible. So thank you for that, cameraman. Next, we have hard drive rails, including a screwdriver for you to install said rails, and screws for you to install said rails. Next, we have a power supply cable. So the power supply is built right into the unit, which is nice because you don't have to deal with that external power brick nonsense. Okay, we've got nice closed cell foam, very, very thick. So you've got like almost 2 inches of foam on every side of the unit, so I wouldn't worry too much about it being damaged and wow, it's heavy. Once you load this thing up with hard drives, it's going to weigh like a ton. All right, let's open this baby up. Okay, there it is, the Probox 8-bay USB 3 eSATA hard drive enclosure. So why don't we start at the front, since that's a very natural place to start. How do you open it? You know what? Why don't I open it first? Give me a sec. So by plugging in the key here, I can unlock and open the door. So you can see I can remove my hard drive, cage doors, then I install my rails on the drives, and then I throw the drives back into here. So I am finally going to tell you what I think is so cool about this enclosure. This enclosure includes an 8-port multiplier. So what that means is if you want to access all of the SATA ports, so that is the 8 ports, you can do that whole thing through a single eSATA interface back here, or USB 3 interface. The eSATA one is more interesting to me though. So a port multiplier, this is not a RAID box. This is just a straight 1 SATA to 8 SATA port multiplier, which is great because compared to competing solutions, which might have 2 eSATA interfaces on the back and then 2 4-port multipliers, this allows you to configure a RAID across up to 8 drives using a single port. So you can actually plug this in to your Intel to your Intel controller, assuming your board uses the Intel controller for its eSATA. And you can configure like an 8-drive RAID 5, for example, which is awesome. Now, if the Intel controller is not fast enough for you, you don't want to use like a software mode, you can actually take proper RAID cards and you can plug them into one port here. Now, you're going to be bandwidth limited in terms of the single eSATA connection, but even 8 drives in like a RAID 5 or a RAID 6 shouldn't be bottlenecked too much by an eSATA 300 megabit per second connection. So, or did I say 3? I meant 3 gigabit per second connection. Shouldn't be bottlenecked too much, so that means that you are going to have excellent performance to up to 8 drives at a time. So cameraman is showing us the eSATA and the USB 3 indicators, the fan indicators, as well as the eSATA and USB 3 indicators. Okay, I'm not sure which is which. Okay, finally we have the interface change button, the sync button, and the fan button. So these are all the LEDs and whatnots. Another thing that's interesting about this particular drive enclosure is that it looks very nice. See? It's got like a nice matte black finish going on there. On the back, we can see 2 80mm fans, and what's cool about those fans is they are easily user replaceable. Yes, Mediasonic will not void you or your warranty for replacing those fans with something else. I think that is a great feature right there. There's our built-in power supply down there at the bottom. That's part of what gives the unit its weight. Finally, at the back, we have a Kensington Lock right here so that nobody just runs along, steals your whole 24 terabyte tower of precious family memories and then runs off with it. And I think that is pretty much everything I wanted to say about this 8-bay hard drive tower. So I'm going to go ahead, close it up, take the key, and swallow it.